Welcome to another set of lessons from my free method book. You can download the PDF off the website or follow the link in the YouTube info section. And this is for a lesson near the end of the book, or the first section of the book, the Sor Study number 1, opus 60, and Siciliano by Carcassi. So this is for players who have learned their notes, and then we're just going over some final pieces to solidify some of our technique. It's a little windy here in Victoria today, so you might hear the breeze and some hissing outside, but the house will survive. So let me play you the two pieces, and then I'll give you a little lesson on some of the ideas for it. Then Siciliano. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a lesson on these two pieces. This Sor study is a little bit deceiving. It looks really simple. It looks like a single line melody, but there's a little bit more to it than that. Some of the notes are more on the accompaniment side, and there's a lot of choices for right hand fingering. In particular, the right hand fingering is a tricky thing to get down. I've added some fingering here that I think is great for beginners. It's mainly just alternating IM on the top two strings and the thumb on the third string. That really simplifies it for this piece. It might not be the most ideal fingering. Like you'll see probably other editions that have this piece. There might even be better fingerings, especially fingerings that include the A finger a lot. But for the purposes of this book, it's really great for students to just get really used to the concepts of alternating IM and then just having the thumb on the lowest notes. So my advice to you is to take the piece in small chunks and make sure you at least try out my fingering first. M, I, P, M, I, P, M, I, M, I, M, I, M, P, I. I think you get the idea of how I'm working it there. Without that, using the thumb on the first section, you're going to get a lot of awkward string crossings, and they're just a little bit more awkward than you would want, so having the thumb in there is really nice. You could easily do it with IMA, resting the finger. You could try. So many combinations, like there's so many options. You could do A, M, I, A, M, I, M. But it doesn't really matter. I think the most important thing for you at the moment is that you're remembering that you generally alternate fingers, and if you have to throw in another finger to make it work even better, then you do that. There's only one spot that I might consider changing in the future. It's the second line, last bar. I might consider doing my A finger on the high G. A, that way thumb IM play the chord, and then you pretty much will have to repeat the thumb there. So A. But repeating the M is fine too, depending on how fast you're going. I chose A, M in the piece just because it's like IM on the upper strings. It's super consistent. And that consistency is really good for students sometimes. Not too much else to say in that piece. Just let things ring a lot. I'm letting all those low G's ring out, and I think that's okay for this stage. Maybe at a later stage we could talk about muting. For now, just let everything ring out. Try to create chords. In the second to last bar of the piece, let letting notes ring out is really nice. Creates harmonies. I think that's true of many parts of the piece. Like keeping the D and the F down on the third line. Those are all really good ideas that make the piece much more complex than it first appears. Siciliano by Carcassi, we had a few pieces that had notes played together, but there's just not that many pieces yet. So this piece has a lot of them. You know, lots of the thumb in there. And so just getting used to that is a skill unto itself. So make sure you practice the melody on its own. And just alternate I-am when you're playing the melody. So get that melody working really nicely in legato, alternate the fingers, and then you're just throwing in the thumb to those extra notes. This piece also has ties in it. So the last two bars of the first line, you notice that I didn't restrike the tied note, the note that had a tie attached to it. But you do let it sustain. So just make sure that you're letting that low D sustain for 2 bars. So 2 bars of 3, right? So 6 beats altogether. That's all that ties do, is but don't repluck the second note, as I've listed above the sheet music. Not much else to talk about there. This combines the melody and bass accompaniment that we've been working on. It also does the dotted quarter note and eighth note, so it has everything you need there, and this is a really nice piece of the classical era that it's just a great introduction to what you're going to be doing a lot later. Later on, you're probably going to have bass notes that are fretted, but that won't be happening until my Volume 2 method book. So for now, you just want to get really, really comfortable with this, make it really nice and smooth, and make sure that your right hand is functioning with alternating fingers.